Am I the a-hole for wanting to charge an 11-year-old for theft and destruction of property? So about a week and a half ago, my son's phone was taken from his bag at primary school. I managed to track it using Find My iPhone, and it led me to a house. From that house, I banged on the front door and was answered by Mom. I explained that I tracked my son's phone to this house, and from there discovered her son and 2 of his friends had just been there. She calls him, and then I follow her in my car to a second kid's house. At this house, all 3 kids are there, and I tell them I don't care who stole it, just hand it back and it's done. All 3 kids swear black and blue that they have never seen it and know nothing about it. I exchange numbers with the mom from the first house and the dad from the second house. Then I have to leave knowing full well one of them has it. I get home and receive a call from the mom from the first house. She has checked the security cameras from her house and discovered the kid from the second house, who swore that they have never had a phone, is miraculously holding a phone in the footage. This has already been sent to the dad, and next minute I get a message from the guilty kid's mom asking if she can come to my house. Her and her son arrive teary-eyed and apologetic. I just ask for the phone back, and she shakes her head saying that he has smashed and destroyed it. It was only an iPhone SE, so not expensive, but as a single mom working full-time, it was my means of communication with my son. She asks if she can go buy me a phone now, but I ask if she just contributes $100 and I'll find a similar phone off Marketplace, as I prefer an iPhone since I connect it to mine and can monitor parental controls and other settings. She agrees and is happy to pay that. It has been over a week now, and she has stopped replying to any messages and won't answer any calls. Last message I sent was me saying if I didn't receive payment, I would report and charge her 11-year-old son. So am I the a-hole if I charge him for theft and destruction of property? Also, as a side note, I have camera footage, admission of guilt in her text messages, and her agreeing she would pay, as well as her son admitting to the school that he stole it. So I have enough evidence to go forward. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Actions have consequences. You have been more than reasonable. If money was tight or there was some issue with getting you cash, she should have spoken up about it. Yes, except now the price has gone up to a new phone, not $100 used one from Marketplace. I had a very minor fender bender years ago on my old car. Owner of the car that hit me, brother was driving, decided to be an a-hole, so I went out for everything. Instead of just touching up a minor dent, it now had to be properly replaced in a body shop. Repair bill and rental car eventually cost 4 times as much. I've been through this with my daughter. We sent the police. Never happened again, and the offender left all my daughters alone after that. Here we have a first-hand account of how this is supposed to be dealt with. Going back and forth with the mom serves no purpose. Having the police involved absolutely does serve a purpose. In fact, it might just scare the little bugger into not being quite as big an arswipe. Yeah, I don't care if the mom pays for it. This boy purposefully stole and destroyed the phone. He needs real-world consequences, and possibly an investigation into his home life. Absolutely press charges. Now for the update. So after not responding to my messages for over a week, I messaged last night saying I was going to the police in the morning to make a report, and the money was transferred this morning. I read all the comments asking why I didn't report first, and it's because I guess I waited so long as I still want to think people will do the decent thing, and didn't want to have to go down the police road for a minor amount, as they have more important things to do. At the end of the day, though, I'm not going to raise my son to be walked all over and to stick to your word. But all sorted now. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my wife entitled and not standing up for her when my mom's boyfriend yelled at her? My wife and I are going through a rough patch right now. We recently ended up in a financial predicament and could no longer afford our apartment. My mom opened her home to us. It's been tough, but my mom has been great, helping with childcare and never making us feel bad. The issue is my mom's boyfriend, Brian. My mom goes out about once a week with a friend, and he has been having people over. He has a very good friend, Christine, who seems like a nice enough person, but she puts everything in her mouth. I am not exaggerating when I say everything. She was over for Thanksgiving, and I ran to the liquor store with Brian, and when we came back, my mom was annoyed because Christine put her mouth on her pie. Her expensive Canada Goose jacket has actual teeth prints. I'd call it compulsive. My wife Rachel thinks it's gross, because obviously it is, and because we have a young child. She is kind of a hypochondriac and is terrified of our son getting sick. Rachel recently asked my mom to ban Christine from the house while we are living there. My mom said she can't ban his best friend. Rachel pointed out that my mom owns the house, not Brian. My mom said that's controlling and weird. Well, last night my mom went to her friend's house, and Brian had people over, 2 guys and Christine. Rachel asked him not to invite her as our son has a cold, and she doesn't want him to get any sicker. He said he would talk to her, which he has already tried. Rachel got annoyed and said he is stupid and childish, and it isn't his house. She called him a loser who mooches off his girlfriend. Brian laughed and said maybe she should shut her stupid mouth as he pays for almost everything, and it was my mom's choice for him to move in with her versus the other way around. He called her entitled and said he can have anyone he likes over in the house he pays for. Rachel was close to tears and asked why I didn't defend her. I told her the truth, that their financial arrangements are none of her business, and she was being entitled. She accused me of not caring about our son's health and of being afraid of Brian. Now she wants me to talk to my mom, but the truth is, I don't want to. He has a very good friend, Christine, who seems like a nice enough person, but she puts everything in her mouth. What? I'm going to go with everyone sucks here except for your son, who is too little, and your mom who wasn't around. Brian was nasty to your wife. Your wife was even nastier to Brian in a home that she is a guest in. You are letting your wife walk all over you. And Christine puts everything in her mouth? Wow. Is it nasty to point out when someone is being a hypocrite? Brian didn't say anything that didn't need to be said. There is a grown person going around putting everything in their mouth. That's what needs to be said. Jesus, what the heck? I mean, if she stops at that, it would be okay. But said his house wasn't his, and that he was mooching of her mother-in-law, which wasn't true, and is hypocrite of her since she is the homeless person, living in someone else's house as a favor. If you're homeless and the person who opened up their home for you has a weird friend who comes over, who isn't on drugs or violent, you keep your mouth shut and sit in the room and silently write down everything they put in their mouth, and then you disinfect with Clorox wipes the next day, or toss like the pie. Not the a-hole. OP's wife was rude. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calmly calling my brother-in-law a self-loathing POS at Thanksgiving dinner after years of jokes about my brother? I, 27 female, have a brother-in-law, 32 male, who, for as long as I've known him, has made constant jokes comparing himself to my younger brother, 22 male. My brother is finishing up pre-med, and from the outside, looks like he has his life together. My brother-in-law works part-time while trying to launch different business ideas, and that gap has clearly been a sore spot for him. Every comment is brushed off as humor. Everyone laughs awkwardly and moves on. No one ever actually addresses it. This happened over Thanksgiving weekend at a family dinner. I'd already had a long, emotionally draining day before we even sat down to eat. I was tired, hungry, and honestly running on fumes. I just wanted to get through dinner without drama. Halfway through the meal, he made another comment, something along the lines of, "At this point, I should just let your brother run my life, since he's clearly got everything figured out." The usual forced chuckles followed. Something in me just kind of snapped. I didn't raise my voice or anything, and without missing a beat said calmly, "You're a self-loathing POS, and it's exhausting listening to you project your issues onto my brother every time we're together." Silence. I kept eating and didn't engage further. My sister immediately said I was rude and completely out of line. She said he only makes those comments because he's struggling, that he works part-time while trying to get a business off the ground, and that it's hard for him watching my brother finish pre-med and have his life sorted out. The rest of the night was uncomfortable. No one defended him, but no one defended me either. Afterward, my younger brother came to me privately and said, "Thank you." He told me he appreciated it, but that he'd honestly gotten used to the comments at this point and just learned to tune them out. That part made me feel even worse, realizing he'd been quietly carrying that discomfort for years. Now my family is still upset with me. They say I ruined Thanksgiving, embarrassed my sister, and that I should apologize to keep the peace. I'm being told I was cruel and that I should have shown more compassion. I know the words I used were harsh. I know the timing was bad, but I'm also tired of pretending it's okay. Am I the a-hole? Your brother-in-law is masking his insecurities with jokes. Grown man, by the way. Which frustrates me even more. Started comparing himself when my brother was 20, and I feel terrible for not doing more for him even though I'm not always around. I think in your position, I would write a text to brother-in-law and sister and say, "Brother-in-law, I do apologize for what happened at Thanksgiving. I should have said something years ago about how your petty comments make everyone uncomfortable and are rude and unfair to brother. If I had done so then, I wouldn't have snapped last week and could have called you out more privately. I'm not sorry for calling you on behaving badly, but I am sorry for the way I did it. Going forward, I hope we can both keep a civil tongue during family gatherings." That's the apology I'd give. Everyone else enabling him is making him even more self-conscious of his lack of progress all the time. Share the load with your brother, not the a-hole. And worst part, we've tried talking to him about his business, but he just feels like he's going to make it big, and we're all haters and scared of taking risks like him. He sounds ridiculously immature. If you are the most bothered by it, let it go for now and just wait. He will likely be a ne'er-do-well for life, and as he ages and your brother becomes successful, those brags about his business prowess will fade into oblivion. Reality is often the best revenge. Last story. Am I the a-hole for confronting my mom about an inside joke my family had about me that I didn't know? My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 26 female, attended my family's Thanksgiving this year after not going last year because we went to his family's house. My whole extended family was there, and we had a lot of fun at first, but a ton of my older relatives kept saying how big the ham was last year and laughing. This was kind of weird to me, because we've always been turkey people. But one of my younger cousins did start helping cook 2 years ago, so maybe he introduced something new and no one liked it? They were kind of making the same joke at Christmas Eve, my uncle's 60th birthday party in August, and my little cousin's graduation party in May. However, the ham jokes reached a new high at Thanksgiving. So, finally, I turned to my cousin Jenny, 25 female, who I'm pretty close with, and asked her about what happened last year with this ham. Jenny immediately said it wasn't that funny, but she looked uncomfortable about it. In fact, when I looked around, most of my cousins sort of looked uncomfortable about it when they would say the ham line again. When I went back for more food, I saw my brother, 30 male, in the kitchen and asked him about it. But he was at his wife's family's house the year prior as well, so he didn't know either. I had a really hard time brushing it off, but I assumed it was some weird, inappropriate joke that the older people in my family found funny. It wasn't until after dinner that Jenny ran into me going out of the upstairs bathroom that she finally broke down crying and told me what it was they were saying. Basically, last year my uncle had commented to my mom about how much weight it looked like I gained in a recent Instagram story, where my boyfriend and I were lifting up the huge ham his family made. My mom then said something about how that ham, me, has been the biggest one in the family for a while. The whole family heard and all the aunts and uncles laughed. For context, not that it's really needed, I had gained some weight last year and some more this year, but I know I am certainly far from overweight, despite my insecurities about my body. Jenny then piped up about how they shouldn't say cruel things when I'm not around to defend myself. They all came down on her telling her to learn to take a joke. Later that night, my mom rounded up all of my cousins and told them she shouldn't have made the joke and to keep it between them. They all sort of agreed and didn't expect the joke to come up again. But it did, at every family thing, all year. Jenny told me she couldn't take me not knowing anymore, but begged me not to say anything. She's never very big on confrontation. I said I would keep it to myself for now, but I was pissed, and my boyfriend and I left early without a lot of goodbyes. I told him in the car and he insisted I couldn't just keep that to myself, but told me to cool off a bit before I say anything to my mom. Fast forward to the next day and I called my mom to confront her about it. I told her how upset I was, that she would not only make a joke like that to my family, but also let it keep going right in front of me. She knew I've been having some serious insecurities about changing weight and freaking out over needing to buy a whole new wardrobe over the past year because none of my old clothes fit me anymore. She immediately asked me who told me. I told her it didn't matter. What matters is what happened and what she said. She insisted she tried to shut it down, but she can't control her siblings and their spouses. They're free people, and they can say what they want. Then she asked again who told me. After the same back and forth of half-assed non-apologies, and insisting I say who told me about the joke for 30 minutes, I ended the call. For a week, I had been avoiding the whole family, except for my brother, who was also outraged on my behalf when I told him about it. It wasn't until 2 days ago that I got a call out of nowhere from Jenny after work. She immediately started laying into me the second I answered the phone. She was pissed I told my mom that I knew because she had just gotten off the phone with my mom, who was pissed at her for breaking her promise and telling me. Apparently, over the last week, between work and her activities, my mom has been systematically calling my entire family to find out who squealed. She hadn't Sherlocked her way into finding out it was my cousin, but Jenny broke the minute she got on the phone with my mom and heard she was angry. Now my mom is extremely mad at Jenny, and Jenny is even more mad at me for confronting her and getting her in trouble. Now everyone in both of our families, except my brother and his wife, is telling me I ruined Christmas this year because now they can't spend the holiday with us because of the tension. So am I the a-hole? Because I just don't even know what to do at this point. I thought I was doing what was best for me by confronting my mom, but it's turned into this whole big thing, and I'm so confused and angry. Not the a-hole. Don't associate with these people anymore. They don't respect you and treat you like a joke. They're horrible. I'm sure you can find better people to spend the holidays with. Both my boyfriend's family and my sister-in-law's family have already extended invites to me because there is no way I'm going to anything my family does for a while. So instead of your mom apologizing, she went around to the entire family to find out who told on them about a crappy joke? Wow, your mom is a piece of work. I'm so sorry. They are all awful. I'm familiar with this scenario. You speak up to defend yourself and you are the problem, not the actual bully. We crave love and acceptance from our family, but sometimes they just aren't capable of it. Classic Darvo. The mom is narcissistic.